The second half of my career started off pretty well in 1997, where I teamed up with the guy who helped me learn to use the Avid on my first nonlinear job to do a network special on one of my favorite trilogy of films.
The Force will be with you, always.
He cut all the special effects stuff, and I did the history and the mythology.
Star Wars became a cultural phenomenon, and in doing so, established itself as an instant hallmark for entertainment, technology, and good old-fashioned fun.
The first things I saw were a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Anybody that knows me knows that my life was changed at that moment.
I went to the showing at the Academy with my young son. And of course, when the film started, the shouting started, shrieking. I wondered, what's going on here? Well, they knew nothing about the picture. They responded to the images.
I'll never forget that when the movie started and that first spaceship came over, I mean, I cheered, the audience cheered, and I thought, this is great. Then the spaceship that was chasing it came out, and it just kept going and going and going. And by the time that thing passed overhead, the audience was freaking out. I was freaking out, and I knew what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Very shortly after that, Darth Vader made his first appearance. Now remember, this is the first showing on the first day that the movie was released. And all of the people in the audience, including myself, started booing and hissing Darth Vader. Now, how did we know to do that?
So in a sense, it changed my whole direction. It turned me around 180 degrees as to what I felt I ought to be doing. And what's interesting is the next film I made was Alien.
What the hell are you doing?
Somebody has to save our skins. Into the garbage chute, flyboy!
We could believe in this alien world, this futuristic world, but there was a very appropriate element of irony mixed in with it too. And I remember it making me laugh a great deal.
You made a fair move. Screaming about it can't help you.
Let him have it. It's not wise to upset a Wookiee.
But sir, nobody worries about upsetting a droid.
It's because a droid don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees are known to do that.
Around 1996, the Avid became an online tool. My two systems were now incompatible, which was fine. I took one of them home. The other one I kept at Triage and did some work there. So I kept making money for a while. We still finished shows in the online bay, so I still had a job as far as that goes.
In sunny Vail, Colorado.
So what's on the luncheon menu, by the way? What, you worried about getting stuck?
Yeah. See where the boats are right there on the hill?
Yeah.
That's all we have to walk to. It'll only take maybe a half hour to get everything up there.
Oh, children. Okay.
This is not the typical way we do this, you guys.
Of course not, I'm here.
This is the very first time we've never not made it all the way to the footage.
All right, the river!
Billy just kind of filled us in on, all those do's and don'ts, as much as anybody can warn you about being on this river. So I'm just assuming that he's an expert and I'm going to follow his instructions implicitly. And I'll remain dry and fresh.
This is where we flip the most rafts. This is where the most people swim, is right here. If you look at the falls right here,
yeah,
you can see the water's moving to the left.
Right.
If we don't make that move, we go into what we call the envelope. And when the water coming off the side of the envelope hits the side of the boat, it just flips the boat right over. But what's good here is you got a big pool to swim. Right. You're not going to get beat up by the rocks like
I really want to go swimming at this point in the day.
Got some power, dog, huh? Good job. Up forward, Howard.
Funky little fall.
Up forward. Up forward. Yeah! Perfect run.
We made it!
That was more intense than any performance I've ever given. And I've given some intense performances.
I introduced one of my favorite producers from the preview days to Triage, Chris Hardy. And we did the first of many projects for the brand new studio, DreamWorks, a trailer-like presentation for The Peacemaker.
I'm a sub, I'm a Croat,
I'm a Muslim. You will look at what I have done and say, of course, why not? They are all animals. They have slaughtered each other for centuries. But the truth is, I'm not a monster. I'm a human man. I'm just like you, whether you like it or not.
What do we got?
Ground blast 40 minutes ago in the Ural Mountains. 2 trains collided. One was carrying warheads to Chernobylsk. 500 to 700 kilotons.
The detonation was a smoke screen. This was a hijacking. And whoever stole those things got off the bus a long way back.
Dr. Julia Kelly, Acting Chair, Nuclear Smuggling Group.
Shoot it!
Must advise we go, sir.
Take out the road!
I'm going to need a military liaison with intel background and Russian contacts.
You got it.
And General, make sure he's willing to take orders from everyone.
Lieutenant Colonel Tom DeVoe reporting as ordered, ma'am. What do you think I am, some gung-ho stupid son of a bitch?
No, I don't think you're stupid.
Now, you are no longer in Washington. You are in the real world. And in the real world, there are nuclear weapons heading for Iran.
It was an SS-18, 10 warheads, 1 detonated, 8 with you. That leaves 1 unaccounted for.
Kelly, the guy got away with a bomb.
Whoever has current data on the blast, I need it on my desk ASAP.
There are people out there who don't care about money and don't give a damn about respect. People who believe the killing of innocent men and women is justified. For them, it's about anger, hatred, frustration. They feel pain and they're determined to share it with the world.
Where are they?
Should take the money, Hans.
Big plan?
This is my plan.
I'm not afraid of the man who wants 10 nuclear weapons, Colonel. I'm terrified of the man who only wants 1.
May God have mercy on us all.
Come spend a day with me.
Chris set me up with a producer-director named Kathy Williamson. We definitely hit it off. When Kathy got the directing job on a Lifetime special called A Day With, she brought me in as the editor. The main executive producer had really sold them on an MTV approach. Very time-consuming, but the end result was definitely worth it. It's one of my favorite projects.
Okay, well this is kind of an unusual day because I've crammed a lot of things into one day, including you guys. We're going to have breakfast, we're going to the park, we're going to have Rosie, we're going to play, and then after that there's a benefit for animals. Oh, and then I have looping, you guys happen, so it's a really full day.
Good to see you guys, come on inside.
I guess I can dress myself, so Jane, who knows everything about clothes, is going to tell me what to wear for you folks today. It's pitiful, I know. Now, I have never had a closet that you actually walk into. I always had a closet that was maybe, you know, the one where it's the doors that you open and there's a bar and that's it. So now this, I'm really happy with this. I just moved and I actually have a closet that I can walk into. Isn't that exciting? And I got so neurotic about it that I wanted it to look like a Barney's department store, you know? I had to fold my sweaters perfectly, but as time goes on, you see that now I'm just basically throwing things into the closet.
Well, I'm in the middle of Fashion Week right now, so I'm really very hyper and very crazy. It's when all the buyers from all over the world come to the United States to buy clothes. And this is perhaps the most important season for a designer because you probably do about, I'd say, 65% of your year's business. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, guys. These are our shoes. These are our new shoe line. Oh, they're super. Yeah, I have a great Rossi Moda's doing, who does Richard Tyler and me, Fendi. So they're very sexy. They're like bondage shoes. It's our little bit of leather. We had leather too, but just a little touch of it. But it's just that wonderful, the snake, metallic snake. No one needs just another dress again. They need the clothes to be something special. It's very hard to be creative or do something that's never been done before or reinterpreted or not be accused of copying, because nothing's never not been done before. You notice there's just tons of red and green and yellow in here, isn't there? You know, my entire wardrobe actually seriously consists of mostly black clothes. I don't believe I'm opening up my refrigerator, everybody. There's our Haagen-Dazs store. I mean, we wouldn't want to run out of that, would we? Well, this is the end of my day. A buffet dinner for 40 of my classmates from the class of 1967. So this is what I'm doing tonight. Jojo, broccoli and chicken. Lucky you.
Think we can send them home, honey?
Yeah, I think it's been a nice long day, hasn't it, guys? So, I love you madly, but I think it's time to go.
Thank you.
Bye.
I love learning something new every day. It is just this incredible opportunity that we wake up every morning and know you're going to learn something that day. Hi.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Pretty soon. Anything I need to know before I start writing?
The news of the day, I think we ought to just,
At the top of the show, you write just a little news page, and on some days there's a whole lot of news that's happened since the Sunday morning papers, as David used to say. Printer's gone crazy again, and is printing. Printer out of paper, it says. All this for writing 27 seconds worth of copy, right? We're doing the promos for ABC, but also Lifetime is here shooting us doing the promos for ABC.
They follow you to the Hill, home? I mean,
yes. Also, this notion that Washington is some sort of weird, out-of-touch place. It's just so silly. I mean, we live the same lives everybody else lives. We've got to pay the mortgage and go to the grocery store and take out the garbage and go to the PTA meetings.
I travel outside of the Beltway, I think, more than most Americans do.
Certainly. I mean, this is a life that...
I don't live inside the Beltway, so that sentence made no sense. But you got the thought.
I moved here when I was 8 years old, and when it was very full with my sister and brother and me. And then when we all left, it was an empty house.
Did Chicago okay?
Yeah, and yours?
Not bad, not bad.
Steve and I met in 1962 at a student political convention in Columbus, Ohio, and basically have been together ever since.
Do you want me to go pick greens?
Yeah. All right, so why don't you go pick with Steve while I go change clothes?
I asked for Coki's hand right here. And her father was standing right here, and he was watering his tomatoes. It was in tomatoes then. Now, her father was one of the most powerful politicians in America, but I think he was more frightened than I was at that point. I called him sir, familiarly, you know. Sir, I know you think we're going to have problems, because Coki and I were mixed marriage. He's Catholic, I'm Jewish. It was not easy to figure out how we could make a life together. And I said, I know you think it's going to be hard. And he said, well, it is going to be hard for you. You're going to have a tough time, but not half as tough a time as I would have if I tried to tell Coki who to marry.
I have big holiday dinners, and I cook them all myself. I cook several times a year for somewhere between 50 and 70 people. And that is something that I like to do. So, dinner's ready. Okay, Sammy, you want some pasta? And how about corn? Tomorrow. Okay, to Thomas.
Sammy, why don't you drink this too?
Just take that.
To your brother. Raise your glass. Go on, raise your glass.
It's one of those rare gifts where you end up marrying someone who is not only your best friend, but somebody with whom you've really had a 30-year love affair. And it's great. I mean, anything that I would say about it sounds so sappy and private, but it is a wonderful, wonderful joy.